Howdy gaming people, Damon Master here, and today I'm taking a look at SCUM. So before we jump into some multiplayer and probably get killed, but also show you the process of creating a new character, I'm just going to jump into a single player game that I've already started playing, probably about an hour, just to give you an idea of some of the things that I've collected, but being able to show you some of the game without risk of being shot or chewed on. So essentially you're a prisoner and you have been sort of let loose onto this area, which is rather large. It's 12 by 12, I think, square kilometers. And they really do feel like proper kilometers. It's a long slog to get anywhere. And it's an open world survival title. So the likes of, H1Z1, or more like DayZ, I should say, and games of that ilk, where, it's a large open world. I believe at the moment in multiplayer it'll be maximum of 64 players, so you're not constantly sort of banging into other players. It's not a battle royale game. It's really about staying alive. So I've managed to I started further south, and I've managed to sort of make my way. You can sort of see the settlements on the map. I believe by sort of I'm assuming it's the red dots, and it seems to be the way so far. So I started further south at the smaller one, and I've made my way up here, and my biggest problem so far is that I've managed to get some reasonable loot. I've got a few weapons, but I don't have any ammunition for them, and the ammunition I do have, I don't have a shotgun for. One thing though that this game, if you gets really deep if you want it. To be fair, I haven't played DayZ. I've always liked the idea of it. I just never got around to playing it. So those of you who have already played similar titles might already be kind of familiar with what we're looking at here. But so we've got inventory here, and obviously I didn't start with a backpack. You start in just your inmate clothing, and different bits of clothing have different storage. And eventually, thankfully, I got a backpack which allows me to store a lot more. And you'll just sort of move through buildings and search, looking for, here we go, so there's some hiking boots, baseball cap, I can equip those. Looking for gear. My biggest problem so far is food and water, but, we're getting there. And if you really want to get deep into this game, take a look at that. That is just crazy. So I did get bit. They look like zombies, but from everything I'm reading, they're not zombies. They're called puppets. There's some more lore to it than that. So I think I've gotten ill, but I haven't found a way to fix that yet. But I mean, yeah, look at this. So we've got, what's that? That's our beats per minute. That's our heart rate. You've got, breathing and lung capacity, body temperature. It even keeps track of how many teeth you've got left in your mouth. It's crazy. Body fat, age, and then over here it's got like how much stuff we've got in our stomach, how much we've got in our intestine, how much we've got in our colon, how full our bladder is. I'm not sure if you defecate or relieve yourself yet. I haven't sort of come across that. But look at this. I'm down on B12 and vitamin D. I need more water, sugar, and sodium. So I need more salt, sugar, and water in my system. Like, wow. You can get crazy deep with this game. And that's going to obviously appeal to a lot of people. And then I think for other people, you're just going to be like, nah. And I don't know. I'm hoping they sort of manage to strike a balance where if you want to sort of go deep, you can. There is going to be... So at the moment, this is single player, which I think is a great inclusion in early access. It means that we can sort of try out weapons and systems. There are enemies, there are hostiles. The developers have said that they're looking to bring in a storyline and NPCs down the track. But at the moment, the focus is probably going to be on multiplayer. I believe servers are being hosted by G Planet or some such. But the good news is for us down in Australia is they have Australian servers, and I already had a look, and it's I think it's $1.20 per slot, which means you can get 20 mates for about $24 or something a month. Fantastic, because that's the one thing we always seem to sort of suffer from down here is local servers. So yeah, we're going to have access to Australian servers, which is great, and I'm going to jump on after I sort of do a bit of a tour here and see if we can find a local server, and I can get killed in multiplayer. That'll be fun. Right, let's slow down here. We don't need to burn the energy. And this is kind of obviously the slower pace of the game. Right, let's go outside and get into a fight. Now, that's better. There was another little patch last night, so I think it's fixed a few things. See, I'm running at outside here. I'm getting about. I'm on ultra. The settings, which is what it defaulted to. I'm getting about 60 to 70 frames. I'm running a Core i7 4 gigahertz CPU, 6700K. I'm running a NVIDIA 1070 GTX. It's just factory. Haven't done anything fancy to it. And 32 gig of RAM. So that should sort of give you a rough idea. If you're playing on, I mean, again, I'm on Epic. I'm on the highest settings. I did turn off motion blur though. All right. Ooh. They're not too bright. Alrighty. So we'll search him, and then you're given an option to add some nails. Yeah, nothing I really need. Some military boots, but they're pretty worn down. The cigarette lighter, I think I've already gone yet. You can actually, if you've got a saw, hack them to bits. Now, I don't know if that is because they get back up again, or for some other reason. Now, I did read somewhere in the forums that you can actually eat this. And my character's pretty hungry, but I don't think I'm quite that hungry yet. I'm not ready to gnaw on a foot. Yeah, so you've got your crouch, you've got your prone, you've got your leans. You can adjust how fast you're running with the scroll wheel. Hey, grocery store, this is going to have some goodness. A pear. If we go over to metabolism here, it actually tells me what's in my digestive system. I actually have a pear and some almonds in there. Neat. So, I think the cool thing is going to be that if you enjoy player versus player, then that option's going to be available to you. Or if you prefer player versus environment with some friends, that option's also going to be available to you. And I think that was something that, from memory, and again, I didn't play it, but that was something that DayZ didn't really offer. It was PvP only. And I know I have friends of mine who aren't huge PvP fans, but the idea of sort of survival in a zombie-infested wasteland was kind of cool, but they didn't want to sort of get to a point where they were geared up and then, you know, someone just ran along and shot them in the back of the head and took all their stuff. So I believe too, if you notice in the top right-hand corner, there's a fame system. If you acquire a certain amount of fame, I believe it allows you to sort of maintain some experience points and things like that after death. So obviously the longer you live and the more you do, that kind of carries over. So it's not all for naught when you die. Yeah, and I mean, I could probably wander around for hours, and I'm going to, just not on camera. But haven't found any vehicles yet. It is still early access, so there's a long way to go. I believe the developers have said that the game will be on early access for 12 months, at least. So that'll give them plenty of time. But so far it feels fairly robust. You know, and there's a lot of features in there, like the vaulting's all in there, and, you know, there's... Like, they've obviously got it to a pretty solid point before they're going to early access. I personally haven't had any crashes or problems. That's not to say you won't. But again, yeah, bear in mind it's early access. Alright, well, let's jump over to... I'll show you how we make a character, and we'll see if we can jump on a multiplayer server. Okay, so here we've got a list of servers that are currently up. As you can see, unfortunately there's nothing in Australia yet, but as I said, you can rent a server, or you will be able to rent a server through G Portal, and they will have Australian servers available. So hopefully, once we hit early access, then we'll have an AU server set up, which would be great. For now though, we sort of want to have a look at ping versus players. I think that one's going to be the go. Alright, so we're at character creation. This is kind of neat. You can either simply... Well, first of all, you've got name. I leave mine the same. You can change your age, which will give you bonuses or penalties to strength, constitution, dexterity, and intelligence. So as you get older, you get a little bit stronger, a little bit healthier, a little less dexterous. Then as you get much older, you lose that strength, but you gain intelligence. Okay, so we do that, and then you can sort of move this around to get your different stats, or I found... Or at least last night. Yeah. Alright, so 3 is the basic, like that's normal. So our guy's a bit stronger and he's a bit healthier. Average dexterity, average intelligence. Give him some tattoos. You'll be able to change skin color obviously later. Gender, you'll be able to play as male or female. Flaws looks interesting. I guess they'll give you more perks. It looks like you'll be able to choose what crime you committed as well, which is kind of neat. Okay, so then because based on those abilities, we then get skill points. Alright, so he's pretty good at running and endurance and not bad at resistance. I know I found 2 handguns last game, but I didn't find any bullets, but then I found shotgun bullets. It's a hard decision. Alright, so he's basic boxing, he's pretty good with rifles, he's pretty good with melee weapons, and he's almost at a basic level with handguns. That works for me. I'm just going full stealth. I don't intend to throw much. And you can see there's obviously a lot more skills coming, so driving and motorcycling implies that there's going to be vehicles piloting, sailing, climbing, picking locks and stuff like that. Great. Over in intelligence skills, so awareness, sniping, medical, camouflage, tactics, cooking, survival, soon to come, I guess, program and electronics, biochemistry, education and psychology, and demolitions. Right. So there's our character. And away we go. Hopefully we don't get spawn sniped. So latency here looked to be about, what, 160? It's going to be a little bit high. But that's only really going to be a problem if we encounter other players, I guess. Where the heck are we? Okay. Way down there. So it looks like we've got some very faint buildings, maybe just over there. And then a bigger settlement over there, which I'm probably going to head towards. Okay, well that's different. Last time I started, last night, again there was a patch last night. Last time I started, you were dehydrated. This time we seem to start fully hydrated. And everything's looking pretty good. Apart from my nutrition. So this is how you'll start a game, or respawn into the game. You know, you can do things like searching for rocks and stuff like that. There is some basic crafting, which I haven't really dabbled with too much. I know you can chop down trees. Base building isn't included in the game. I'm not sure if it's something that they're going to do. I don't know if it's something they need to do. I believe you can reinforce structures, though. So, by that I mean, you know, if you find a house, I think you can barricade it. I'm also guessing that that thing in the back of your head, because I've seen every character got one, is what keeps you from wandering outside of the game zone, which kind of makes a bit more sense than, you know, electric fog sweeping in. You know, if you just track outside of a GPS coordinate, your head explodes. That makes more sense to me. Of course, the other problem is spawning in on bright orange. It can be highly visible to any other player. Having said that, then, they're also probably going to realise that I have nothing worth taking. Unless they want to chop me up and eat me. You see what I mean about the scale of the map? This thing it's quite large. You think about how long it would take you to jog a kilometre in real life. I could put the speed on, but I don't want to waste too much stamina just yet. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Possibly another player? Well, let's why shy away? Let's go find out. I mean, it looked like a health bar, right? Wonder if that's part of my awareness skill. I've got nothing to lose. Don't have to worry about oncoming traffic yet. I mean, I guess it would make sense if it's another player because it's a settlement. It's a bit odd that I can see that health bar from so far away. Alright, coming into town. Okay. Not sure what that's all about. Yay! Hacksaw, very useful. Bottle of water. What is this? Oh, why? Okay, cool. The only problem with that is the inmate shirt has a pocket, which I kind of need right now. That's a kitchen board. Righto. I believe you can cut that up for kindling in the crafting section. That looks like a supermarket. That'll probably have some useful stuff. Building repetition, I did see a bit when I was playing on the single player server. But again, early access, so I'm not going to critique it too hard. But I do hope we get to see... Now I get the ammunition. Now the game's got the gun. I do hope we get to see a bit more building variety. Sort of as we move through the builds. So, just what I need. Glasses. That's really something. Right, well, I'm you know, I'm 3 minutes in and I'm not dead. Oh dear, yes. So yeah, getting a backpack or a bum bag or something like that early on really makes a difference. Because storage is the problem when you first start off. I did manage to find in the single player game a police station, and that had a lot of really good stuff in it. So I'm going to assume that, like a lot of these sort of games... What's that on the floor there? We got a beanie. You know, there's going to be certain high-value targets, and as people kind of learn the map, they're going to know where to go. So, yeah, for the record, that police station was in C4 along the road. Alright, there's a zombie over there. Sorry, not a zombie. Apparently that's the mistake to make. It's not a zombie, it's a puppet. I've seen some big, nasty sort of Ed 209 robots as well that just mess you up. So, probably there to control prisoners. I'm not quite sure what the story is, whether this is part of an experiment, I guess, or whether we're sort of escaped. I'm thinking we're sort of put here as part of an experiment. Oh yeah. Now we're cooking. I managed to find hippie pants the other night. Well, I would have really liked to have been shot by another player. What is that? I have no idea what that is. A camera of some sort? I don't know if that's like a GM or if that's a spectator player. No idea. Cool. certainly didn't find one in see one of those in the single player game. So now we're cooking. Bloody oath, mate. No, I need a stubby. Some blue shorts, some flip flops. Get a blue singlet. I'll be representing. Oh, okay, neat. This is some sort of sty. Look, anyway, there's already a bunch of people streaming this on Twitch. The Twitch stream keys went out last night, I think. I managed to fool around with it a little bit before the Twitch streamers got a hold of it. So I didn't bother playing online last night because there was there was only media on, so there was virtually nobody playing the game in multiplayer. So it would have been really cool to show you my face being shot off in this video, but not to be. Although I guess we did see some sort of camera or spectator bot. That's kind of neat. But that's SCUM, and I mean, it has potential. The idea of DayZ had always appealed to me, but of course, there's always that fear of, you know, hackers and whatever have you. It's good to know that you know, we'll be able to rent our own private servers through G Portal, and have more control over sort of who's on our server, so we can password protect and things like that. So, you know, if you want to have a server that's purely player versus element, you can do that. You know, or environment, sorry. If you wanted to have a server that's player versus player, you can do that. I believe. Yeah. So there is. You can see here sort of a score sheet. So Skinny Pete has gotten 10 kills, died 3 times. And this chap up here, Mangler Muldoon, 3 kills, 10 deaths. Not doing so. So it looks like they traded. These two have traded kills a few times. Apart from that, doesn't look like anybody's bounced into each other. And it looks like too, once you get enough fame, you can sort of go into these fighting modes or fight maps. Just kind of neat. So perhaps you'll be able to sort of run around the map in PvE and then jump into a PvP zone. So, look, I don't have an idea on the price just yet, but you know, pop it on the wish list. Keep an eye on it. If this is the sort of thing that, like, if you're a DayZ fan, this is sort of the thing that keeps you interested. It might be one to look at, because we sort of seem to have shifted the focus away from the large survival games lately into the battle royale titles. So it's kind of cool to see perhaps a return to that open world survival. So, and as for us in Australia, the ability to have an Australian server is just going to make all the difference. You know, especially your own private one as well. I think it's just fantastic. And even if you've only got half a dozen friends, but you want to play at PvE, you know, $5-6 a month, get your own private server. Easy. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here because I could just go on and on and on. But I mean, it's on Twitch TV right now. You can go and watch a number of popular streamers playing this title and probably get a better feel for it. But for those of us down under, we haven't been forgotten. Local servers will be available. You'll be able to hire your own local server. Game looks like a bit of fun so far, and I'm really keen to start exploring the world with friends. But for now, thank you very much for watching.